grab the asshole. On the 14th floor where the bathroom door don't lock. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the body admits I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome into episode 165 of Phired Up. I'm your host, Dom Consul. And with me, as always, is Chris Chia. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? It's been a while. It's been a while
No,
since we were able to jump
even
on.
today, we're not even together.
Yeah. Well, Mike is at the Phillies game tonight, enjoying himself. So he's not with us tonight. We're gonna do our own thing here. We're gonna do something that we don't get a ton to do, just you and I. Is we're gonna talk a little bit of college football. But we're gonna do that eventually. Like I said, Mike's at the Phillies game. It's currently 2-2. I think in the 8th inning it was, or
Yeah,
they might be going into the 9th.
Yeah, they just went down.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about Eagles football, college football. We could sprinkle in a little baseball here and there because we haven't really talked much baseball because it's been a hectic month for everybody.
Yeah.
So what do you go ahead?
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
I was saying not to mention the Phillies haven't been anything to really talk about either.
Right, they've been like pretty media. I mean, we could start there if you want.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean that's kind of like they're playing pretty decently tonight. They're putting the ball in play, but Bohm has been
0 for 4 tonight with runners
in scoring position.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't think you were on the show that Mike and I talked about it, but I put a little bit of salt in his wound, and I'm going to do it to you now too, because you both told me he was this great player, and he's very average. He's very average.
He's gonna end the season with 100 RBIs.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's at 88.
I thought it was at 85.
No, 88.
Okay.
He's going to finish with 100. He's going to be a 290.
I don't know that I could sit here and say he's going to finish with 100 RBIs with the way that he's playing right now.
Dude, he would have to be on a terrific slump to miss this.
All right. Do you think he breaks 105?
He might be one of those guys that just pushes over 100, like 102.
Do you think he was average last year?
Yes.
Okay, so what's different from 20 and 97? What does he have this year? 12 and 88 right now?
Yeah. It's the batting average, though. The batting average.
What was his batting average last year? 280? It was like 275, 280?
275, yeah.
All
He's
right.
been 292 now.
Okay. I mean, that's not like totally far off from being an average player.
Yeah,
He's
I just think his glove's been better this year. He's been better defensively.
Top 5 in errors. He's top 5 in errors in the league.
In third base?
No, in all of baseball.
Really?
Yeah, he's got like 14 errors.
Jeremy Pena has 16, so.
Yeah, I mean, Pena's really bad. But Gunnar Henderson, I think maybe number 1. Gunnar Henderson might be number 1. Or he's definitely in the top 5. I think him and Bohm were tied for 5th for like a while.
I just feel like he's been better with the glove this year. I don't know. Maybe
he's been really good with the glove this year, but that's how bad he's been in the past.
Yeah,
he's become a really good. He's become a good defensive third baseman. Dreadful one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just it's just like he was on pace, and I knew he was never going to hit that 100. What was it like in May? It was like 160 RBIs or something. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, that was never going to happen. But like,
yeah,
he's not on that 130 pace like that some people thought he was. He went a whole month with I think it was 25 games with 2 RBIs or something like that, in July.
He did just come off of a pretty decent streak with the on base streak. He just broke that.
For sure. But it's on base streak. It's not a hitting streak.
I know.
It's I don't know. I just wanted to jab you, to do
Yeah,
a couple
well,
of little
Listen, I
jabs
feel-
on you.
well, is he your third baseman next year?
No, next year, yeah.
Is he your third baseman the year after that?
I think you have to, and this is I think part of the reason why they didn't trade Aiden Miller is I really think they're sitting here and saying these two guys are going to be your Stott and Bohm for the next 2-3 years, whatever it is, however long it takes Aiden Miller to progress into an MLB player. I think that they're both here for that long, and whoever just can't figure it out, Aiden Miller's going to come up and take that spot. And I think Stott's been really underwhelming this year.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
still really good defensively. He made a great play. I think it was yesterday in Kansas City. But offensively, man, like he's just been
He's been
so underwhelming
He took like a step back from where we thought he was going to take a step
for
forward.
sure. And he was that guy that like we sit here and say like, oh, he works the count and like he's really good at working the count. And
Not this year.
and, well, yeah, not this year. But what I'm getting to is I really want to see him swing at the first pitch every once in a while.
Yeah.
Pitch number one is a fastball down the middle every single time because the pitcher knows he's not going to swing. And I'm not saying do it every single time. I'm just saying I want to see it every once in a while where he just takes a swing at it, take a whip at it. And he did it a couple of weeks ago. I forget who it was against. It might have been. Wasn't it? Man, it might have been the series. It might have been the Padres series. There was a series a couple series ago where he swung first pitch and fouled it off, and I was like, yeah, I want to see more of that. Not every time. I like that he works the count, and he sees 8 pitches, 10 pitches in that bat, but every once in a while, I just want to see him.
How much is that Kevin Long though?
I mean, I think that these guys are. I think the hitting coach only does so much because look at Trey last year. Like Kevin Long came out and said things like there were reports that came out that said like, Kevin Long is giving Trey Turner advice, and Trey Turner is different from Bryson Stott. Trey Turner's a $300 million player who's been in the league for 7, 8, 9 years, so he's a little bit different than Bryson Stott. But Trey Turner was still doing what he wanted to do because at the end of the day, he's the professional player. Yep. He's the player.
That's foul.
I thought he caught it.
No,
yeah. So I wonder how much of like a hitting coach really does do for you versus like the player.
Well, you would think like if he's getting the fastball down the middle, Kevin Long should start saying, "Hey, swing on the first pitch."
Sure.
Like that would be something that is easy fix, right?
Yeah.
And then make them have to pitch you around if you're swinging at that first pitch.
Yeah. I hear you. I have problems with Kevin Long right now too. Like the team that last year broke a record in the month of the month of August last year. Yep. Like the team that broke the record in the month of August last year, they're too hot. Their 2 top home run hitters I don't even think they have 30. Like Schwarber have at 28 or 29.
Yep.
And Bryce is 26. Like, Castellanos has had a little bit of a down year. I mean, I know he's been hot recently, but it's been a little bit of an underwhelming. A little bit underwhelming in the home run department.
Well, I got a question.
They're playing a lot of small ball. Like, don't get me wrong.
So, do you think that they are taking it easy in the month of August to like lay it on and ramp back up in September?
No, I think this is who they are. I think
you do.
I think mid-April to mid-June was an anomaly. I think it was just something that you never really see, not even just in Phillies history, but like in baseball, right? Like the first team to 40, the first team to 50, whatever, the second team to 60, I think they were. So like, I think that was a little bit of an outlier, and I think that was a little bit of an anomaly where I think then when they went through that 2-week stretch of after the All-Star break was just kind of what teams do. Like the Braves did it last year. The 08 Phillies went like 4-10 or something. The 09 Phillies went like 5-12 or something, or vice versa, in the month of July. And that happens. It happens to every team, every great team.
Yeah.
And then but I just think what we've seen since they've come out of that, that's who they are. Like that's who they were last year. That's who they were the year before. So I think what you're seeing now is just who they are. And I also think that in that stretch from mid-April to mid-June, they're doing things kind of like they're doing now. Like if you look back at, the series that they were winning back then, they were winning 5-3, 5-4.
Yep.
They would have the game where they win 7-0, and then they would win, 3-2, 5-2. Like those closer games, but you were getting great pitching into that from the bullpen and the starting rotation, where you're not getting as great pitching from them now. Although I think this past weekend and even tonight was pretty good. Like Kirkering looked pretty good.
He looked really good.
Yeah. I didn't really see much of the game early, so I can't really. Who pitched tonight? Nola?
Wheeler.
Oh, Wheeler. That's right. I know he had 5 strikeouts at one point.
He had one bad sequence, is what it was. It was like one bad sequence that just, and that's like Wheeler's like deal always.
Sure,
he has one bad, not even an inning. It's like a bad 2-3, maybe 2 batters.
Yeah, and it just so happens that he gives up a walk and then a home run.
Yep.
And also the bottom of the lineup, especially this weekend, like that's what you also got early in the season is the bottom of the lineup, Marsh and Rojas and even JT hitting 7th. Like you Garrett Stubbs yesterday, like you're getting the bottom of the order. They're giving you some help, and it takes a little bit of pressure off the guys that make a lot of money, but I don't think you win with that in the playoffs. Like we saw that in the playoffs. You know, you and I were there for Game 7.
Yeah.
Nobody hit.
Yep.
You know, Bohm hit a homer, and that was all the power that they had that game. So like, it's going to be a problem if it happens in the playoffs, but hopefully they can figure it out before then.
Yeah. What an underwhelming season from JT too, man.
Yeah, he was hurt a lot too. Obviously he was out for 6 weeks or whatever it was, but yeah, I mean, but guess what? Like last year and this year is you take that. You take the 270 hitter, the 260. What is he hitting? 260 right now?
Yeah.
Or 255, something like that.
And he's got like 10 home runs, 11 home runs.
Yeah. And you think that he's probably going to end within that 15 to 20. I mean, he's not going to hit 20, but like he's probably going to hit around 15 or 16 and hit 260. And like that's really good for a catcher.
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
it's just not what
great,
we're used to.
Yeah, what made him great was hitting 280, 285, and hitting 20-plus homers, 25 homers. Like, that's what made him a great catcher. So, yeah, I mean, I think they really messed up not getting that middle-of-the-order bat, but
yeah,
they really don't want to give up Aiden Miller, and I understand because I don't think that they're sold on Bowman stock.
No, yep. And then the other thing is, like, the Taijuan Walker, man.
Yeah.
They just continue to march him out there.
And he's going to pitch Wednesday.
I know.
They announced that. It's crazy.
Just continue to, like, that's what makes the difference between, like, I feel like the Phillies never will say they did something wrong. Like, I feel like that's Dombrowski. Maybe not the Phillies, it's Dombrowski.
Do you think that it could be something more along the lines of, like, we paid this guy so much money and we have to put him out there versus, like, not owning it?
DFA him. We made him a mistake.
He's owed a lot of money over the next 2 years.
Who cares?
Well, who do you replace him with, though? And I'm not saying you're wrong. I want him gone too. I tweeted out.
Phillips.
I tweeted out.
Make a bell. Bring these dudes up. Bring them up. Let them get the experience. You're at
Phillips
the end of the year.
Phillips is not any much better than Walker. Like he's not a major league pitcher. He's those. They have so many of these guys that are too good for the AAA.
Today, dude. Ben Lively.
Yeah.
Who's the other dude? I think he pitches for
Appel. Remember Appel?
Yeah, Mark Appel. Well, he came from Houston, but like, dude, who? Cole Irving.
Yeah,
like these dudes that do. But you
remember
bring up
Spencer Howard.
Spencer Howard. Yep. Bring up
just too good for the AAA, just not good enough for the majors.
Bring up Nick Abel. Bring up Griff McGarry. Like we haven't heard from them all year. Bring them up.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't have any confidence in Walker. I think he is well past anything that he's ever been. But it's just I just think logistically they feel like throwing him out there every 5th day is no different than bringing any of those guys up and having them pitch. But at least they're paying Taijuan Walker the money. Like it makes sense because they're paying him the money. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, but you could be getting these guys experience. Like that's what you're taking away right now.
I understand.
You're taking experience in August, in September away.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to think of it like through the perspective of their eyes. You know, it's the fact that we're not sure if they're much better than Taijuan Walker, but we're paying him all this money to not pitch. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I would strongly consider trading him and Castellanos for a bag of peanuts.
See, I think Castellanos is a little bit overpaid, but I mean he's hitting 300 in the last like since the All-Star break.
I just
Like,
think you'll get something for him, is what I'm saying. If you trade them together, maybe you'll get.
yeah, but
like,
who do you replace Castellanos with?
Anybody.
Yeah,
Austin
but
Hayes.
he's not that bad. Stop.
Let Austin Hayes play
Castellanos
all
is better than
season.
Austin Hayes.
Dude, let Austin Hayes play all season.
Nah. Austin Hayes, at least Castellanos is going to get you 20 homers. Austin Hayes might get you 15, maybe 15, 12.
What's the difference there, though?
Well,
He's
I
a
think,
better outfielder. He's a better outfielder than
No, he's not.
Castellanos.
No, he's
You don't
not.
think so?
No, I think ultimately, yes. I think Hayes is a better outfielder, but I think Nick Castellanos as a Philly, because of their analytics that they put him in a specific spot in the outfield to what makes him play well. Like that, there was science behind it.
Yeah.
He made his first error as a Philly like a month ago.
Yeah.
So like, do I think Hayes is better? Yes, but he's not much better. And like, but Castellanos is a better right fielder than Hayes is a left fielder. He's a better hitter, better average, more homers. You know, I think the Austin Hayes trade was horrible personally.
Oh, me too.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just would rather have the pop.
Would you trade Taijuan Walker and Castellanos for Brent Rooker?
Castellanos and
Taijuan Walker.
I mean, yeah, I would. But like, who plays right field then? Is it Marsh? Does Marsh play right field? Rojas in center, but is Rojas good enough to do that? And I know he's been really good since the All-Star break. He's been hitting the ball very well. And I've come on here and said, if he plays great defense, if he plays Gold Glove defense and hits 240, sign me up, which he's done.
Yeah.
But can you trust him to do that next year and the year after and the year after until Justin Crawford's ready?
He's what, 21, 22?
23, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's still learning the major league game. He's definitely made a big step from last year to this year. Like, you can't say
he hit 300 last year.
Yeah, but he batted how many games last year did he play?
I think he was close to 70.
No way, dude.
He came up in June.
No way.
I'm looking it up. Whoop, that's Miguel Rojas. He played 60.
Okay. So a third of a season last year?
Yeah.
And this year he's what? How many games is he in this year?
He's played 96.
All right, so you've seen progression. I know his batting average went down, but he's playing good defense.
No, I hear you. I'm not saying that I don't disagree. I'm not saying he isn't better this year than he was last year, or is not. But I don't know. I don't know that you can look at this team and say, let's just trade Castellanos and say Rojas and Marsh are your center fielder and right fielder, and then you bring in Rooker, who's a left fielder. I think you get more out of. I think you have to try to keep Castellanos and Rooker. I don't think Marsh and Rojas hit well enough to be your outfielders. I think what they have now isn't even enough.
What about
so?
Soto?
I think you lose a little bit.
Soto. Juan Soto, getting him this offseason.
Oh, I mean,
what do you think?
Well, of course.
Do you think that did the Yankees even allow that?
I think he definitely hits the market.
Oh, you do?
I don't think he's going to sign because of him. I think he's going to hit the market because he wants to see what he really could get.
I mean,
what do you think he would get?
I don't know. He's playing pretty damn well this year.
I mean, he's number 2 or number 3 in MVP voting. So
yeah, and he's only 25.
Yeah, it's something like that, 25, 26, something like that.
So you can sign him to if a team wanted to, you could sign him to like a 14, 15-year deal.
Or he could sign that 14 or $15 million deal with after year 3 and opt out when he's 28, 29 and sign a new deal.
Yeah,
that's what I think he does.
Like Machado did.
Yeah. That's what I think he does.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, though. Like those opt-outs are ridiculous. You don't protect yourself at all.
I agree. I hear you.
Enough Phillies talk.
Yeah. Yeah. So they to me they look like the team from last year and the year before, where they're just maybe a little bit better. But yeah. So the Birds, man, we're back. Football is back. Mike and I obviously we were in all last week. Excuse me. So we didn't really get to talk about the last two preseason games because we haven't been on since. And we really didn't get to watch the first preseason game between the two of us, me and Mike, last time we were on. So, give us your intake. Give us your input.
Yeah, they definitely had a good preseason, and I think some answers were some questions were answered. Nakobe Dean played a really, really good. What was that, game 2 against the Patriots? He had a really strong showing. And Jeremiah Trotter Jr. also had a really good showing against both those guys.
Yeah, they did a good game against Baltimore too, right? I saw his name a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, so I think linebackers are set. I don't think that I think that there's still room for improvement there, but I think that could be something throughout the year. It's going to be
Who's the other guy?
White and Bond.
Bond, yeah, that's
going to be your 2 starting linebackers. Yep. They said that Bond's just too quick. Right now. And I do see Nakobe, definitely Nakobe's your third guy in. And then 4 is going to be Trotter Jr. and 5 is going to be Ben Van Sumeren.
Right.
Because he can play depth linebacker if you need him to, but he's such a good special teamer. And that's the other thing. Bond's a really good special teamer. So he's making the team regardless. You're going to have him, Van Sumeren, probably Nakobe Dean out there on kickoff, kick return. That's where those guys are going to play. Safety, they're in a good spot.
Really quick, let's stick with linebacker real quick.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm excited for it. Oh yeah. I guess I'm excited about it because do I think this group is better than the 2017 group? Probably not. I think that 2017 group was a little underrated. Bradham, Kendricks,
absolutely.
Those guys.
Jordan Hicks was on that team.
Yeah. But I think last year it was they just tried to pick up anybody, or last few years they just picked up guys off the street and said play linebacker. And I think that they're kind of going into that 2017 route where it's we have to get real players. They don't have to be great players. They just have to be willing to tackle and play aggressive and run fast. And that's what they've got.
Camus Grugier Hill,
same.
He's probably your Zach Bond, same thing. Defense, he's going to be on special teams. He's going to be able to tackle the football, wherever the football's going. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro, but I think he's going to fill gaps, and that's what a linebacker needs to do, and just swoop in and make a tackle. And Bond can also rush the quarterback, which is really good out of that outside linebacker. I guess he would play sort of position.
Yeah,
but he's really good at rushing the quarterback. So. Safeties look solidified too. Looks like Bradbury's going to get cut.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw that today.
Yeah,
I saw that the report that was they were looking for a trade offer and nobody's interested.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to get cut. Back there, it looks like it's going to be CJ GJ. It looks like Reed Blankenship is going to be your starting back there with him, which is fine. I think Tristan McCollum's making the team. He's a safety.
They cut Zach McPherson today.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks. Who else is going to be back there at safety?
I know McPherson was a dual. They thought maybe he could play a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna, what are they gonna call who's the kid we drafted in the second round? DeJean. I wonder is he a safety or a corner?
I said on the show, I don't think you were on this episode, but I said on the show that I think he's going to be a gadget guy. I think he's going to play a little bit of safety, a little bit of linebacker, a little bit of nickel, maybe on the outside here and there. He's going to rush the quarterback. I think he's just going to be a gadget guy.
Okay.
I think it's the way. I think it's maybe not this year, but long term, I think that he's going to be listed as a safety. But excuse me, but he's going to play a little bit of everywhere. He's going to be all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, and cornerbacks, I think they got I think cornerback, we've been complaining about it. I think this year we're going to be pretty happy with the cornerbacks this year.
Yeah.
Darius Slay's your 1. Isaiah Rodgers is your 2. He's going to be your 2. Yeah. Quinyon Mitchell's going to start the season as the slot. I do think he's going to move out there.
And now that Pearson's cut, he can go to 27.
Yeah.
Quinyon. So
who's the other dude? Josh Jobe had an amazing camp.
Okay.
Like he's going to be pushing for, playing time. I think it's a good problem to have right now that we're deep in the cornerback room,
For sure.
which
Absolutely.
we haven't had in a while. Now, an area that I think we're going to struggle with this year, I think our defensive ends are suck, dude. I
Yeah.
think Huff is literally just going to be the replacement of Hassan Reddick. I think it's literally going to be the same exact stats. And I think Nolan Smith, dude, is trending to a bust. Like, there's no reason. He played pretty much that whole game on Saturday against the Vikings at their third team, and he still wasn't, like, beating the pressure.
The week, I think it was against New England, he had a sack. Dude, he got bumped against the third team. He got bumped into the hole and wound up getting to the quarterback. But
Yep.
It's not like he made a move to get to the quarterback or rushed or power rush,
Yeah. He's been underwhelming, and he's going to have to, like, step it up. Jalix Hunt, or Jalix, that's his name, right? Jalix Hunt?
Yeah. Yep.
They said he's been killing it this year in practice, and they said,
I saw that.
He was very raw, but they said, like, he's picking it up quick, so I'm pretty pumped about that. What Brandon Graham's going to play what? How many snaps a game?
Right.
Like, what are we expecting out of him? I mean, he's going to be a motivator. He's going to probably be out there on special situations, but I'm not expecting 8-9 sacks out of Brandon Graham. Like, I'm expecting like 4 or 5. Josh Sweat, like, what are we expecting out of him this year?
Right. Josh Sweat has proven time and time again he's not an every down end.
Yep. Because he can't play the run. He cannot play the run.
Right.
And that's what I'm worried about with Huff. Huff never played the run. He got sent out there on third down, like, passing situation. So I'm there it goes. There's the game.
Did he homer?
Nope.
Oh.
Harper RBI single.
Oh, there you go.
That's good. That's a good sign for Harper.
Yeah, he was. I mean, listen, he had a hit tonight, an RBI double. He was good in Kansas City too.
Yeah,
this weekend. So
he's just not putting it out of the park. But
right, and he's at 26. I bet his over is at 30.5. So I'm sweating here.
You got a whole month.
Yeah, but like, dude, like it's not like in the month of August he hit like 6 or 7. Like I think he's only had like 2 homers this month.
Yeah, but when he goes on a tear, he goes on a tear. And like,
but I'm hoping he goes on that tear, because you think about how, like I just said, like he's had like 2 homers this month, and like you're just kind of hoping he doesn't bleed into September.
Yeah. Offense, I mean, we didn't get to see any of them, so I can't really.
Wait, real quick, defensively. I'm really hoping we see the next jump with Jalen Carter. Obviously, he had a great start to his rookie year last year, and then kind of as the season went on, the wear and tear and no rotation. You kind of see him, because I'm thinking step back a little bit, or plateau really. I'm kind of hoping we see him take another step this year. Same with Jordan Davis. I'm curious to see how he's gonna, look. How much in shape he is. Obviously, coming into training camp, he lost a ton of weight. So,
I'm honestly not worried about Jalen Carter at all.
Neither am I.
I think he came into camp with like all reports were like he came into camp saying like, "Hey, I had a really bad second half last year," and like took a lot of accountability on there. So like,
which I don't think was his fault. When I say he kind of plateaued a little bit, I just think it was because they really had no rotation, and he's a rookie.
The scheme was terrible. Like, Patricia just did not help them out at all after they fired. Like, we're calling for blitzing, and they're blitzing on first down. Like, blitz on 3rd and 8. Like, get them off the field on 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 2. Why are we not blitzing there just to get them off the field? Like, So that's defensive side of the ball. I think that they're going to be, I probably would say like a 15 to 20.
Not terrible. I think they're better than last year, but I don't think they're going to be what they were 2 years ago either.
No, I think that, I mean, it all comes down to what the play calling looks like behind them, and like how Vic Fangio runs the Vic Fangio defense that we've been seeing for the past 2-3 years, the Vic
Yeah.
Fangio defense. Well, let's see how Vic runs it. So I think that's what it's going to come down to there.
Yeah, and like you said, we haven't seen any of the offense really. Kenny Pickett stinks.
Doesn't he needs to get rid of the gloves, dude. What is he doing with wearing gloves on both hands? Come on.
Yeah, so Kenny Pickett stinks.
But he's your backup because
Yeah, probably.
you have to. You don't even have a choice because you gave up so much.
Well, they swapped. It was a pick swap.
Yeah, but it was that you went out and got him. Like you went and
I
looked
understand.
for him.
I understand. I don't think it's that big of a deal if they cut him, but
there's no shot.
No, I don't think they do either. I'm just saying I don't think I don't think it would be a big deal, because it was mainly just a swap. But Tanner McKee, how was he looking?
He had a good game 2. Game 3 was not good. So
okay,
I don't think that he did enough to push for the second spot either.
I know Will Shipley caught a touchdown from Kenny Pickett in the first game.
Will Shipley, I think, has a chance to push for the number 2 running back.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I think that it's going to be him and Gainwell, but I think that as he's a better receiving back than Gainwell is, even though we've been told 100 times how great Gainwell is as a receiving back.
Yeah,
I think that Shipley is the complete package. I think he's going to be more of that like Darren Sproles usage, where you're going to see him out there just on screen passes and stuff that, swing routes.
He'll get two or three carries.
Yeah.
But I think we see what we saw last year, where Gainwell was used early, and then they kind of fade him out a little bit as the year goes on. I think you could see that this year because Shipley's a rookie. I think you could see Gainwell kind of getting a little bit more than Shipley to start the season, and then as it goes on, the more experience Shipley gets, I think he kind of takes his snaps. Yeah,
and then receiving room,
we just got better.
Well, and it also looks like Anais Smith, their 5th round pick, just magically has a knee issue that popped up before last game. So it looks like he's going to hit the Phantom IR for a little bit.
Right. This is going to be the guy that Howie Roseman refuses to cut in 2 years. Kenny Gainwell. Because he drafted him late, and he drafted him late, and he just will not give up on the idea that
not just Kenny Gainwell, dude.
It's a ton of guys.
It's
Rager,
Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins, Jalen Rager.
Same thing. He like I said, a Phantom IR injury. Just his knee started bothering him before last game, so it looks like the Eagles are also really good at that. The IR stint. Jordan Mailata for his first 2 years, he went on the IR right before the season started. And
who was the other guy? The other tackle. He was the 1st round pick. They jumped Houston a couple years ago.
Dude, he sucked too.
Yeah.
We traded
I'm so mad. Yeah. I'm so mad we can't think of the name.
God, what's the name? No, I got it. 2018 draft, right?
I think so.
No, 2019.
Was it not 20? No, because they didn't have a 1st round pick in 2018, right?
Yeah, because they took Goddard that year.
Yeah.
Andre Dillard.
Yep.
Andre Dillard.
Didn't he have a phantom injury too at some point?
Yeah. Yep. The Eagles are really, really good at that. So Anais Smith will hit the IR. I think he next year will probably push to get Covey out of there, as he's a kick returner and punt returner, and then he could probably try for the 4th receiver next year. The receiving room obviously got a ton better. We got AJ Brown had a great season, off season. Devontae Smith's looking like he's going to just have a great year. I went to their open practice. Not their open practice. I went to a practice inside the NovaCare.
Okay.
We got to go because we're season ticket holders.
Yeah.
And Devontae Smith caught this one right across the middle that you're like, oh, in a game. But they did. He I think it was Bond put a hit on him and he just kept moving. So I'm excited for Devonta Smith and Jahan Dotson out there, dude.
Yeah.
bringing him back.
You and I texted a little bit about it. Obviously his NFL career hasn't been horrible, but it hasn't been great. But who the hell's throwing to him? Sam
Dude.
Howell and Tyler Heineke. Like,
It hasn't. It's actually pretty. It's been a pretty decent.
yeah, like I said, it hasn't been horrible, but it hasn't been great. 2 500-yard years.
I can't believe that they traded him in the division.
Yeah,
Like
let alone trading him.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. I can't believe that they felt strong enough.
I think he's the perfect guy. I think he's the perfect guy for this team because I think AJ Brown's going to move a little bit. I think he's going to be a slot, in and out of the slot, inside, outside. And I think Jahan Dotson can kind of do that too. Play a little bit of the inside and the outside. He's got a lot of speed, so you put him on the edge. And he can also work a little bit in the middle of the field. And we've obviously seen that playing Washington the last couple of years. So I think he's got a lot of talent and ability. I don't think he's going to be like a top 20 receiver in the league, but I think he could be that 600 or 700-yard receiver that they could be looking for.
Yep, absolutely. And did you hear his press conference? Did you listen to it at all?
I saw clips of it.
He was like so grateful to be here too, and it wasn't like there was no like he didn't throw any shade at Washington either. Like he handled it pretty professionally, and like to get him closer to home.
Imagine leaving that situation and coming to this situation.
And what did we give up for him? A third and 2 sevenths?
It was a swap, I think, a third and fourth swap, right? And then
it was
a couple sevens.
A third and a fifth.
Third and a fifth. Yeah.
And 2 sevenths. So
we traded a third and 2 sevens.
Yeah.
And then we got Dotson and a fifth. Yes.
Yeah. Which is probably going to be a pretty high pick in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Because Washington's going to stink. Because I think that quarterback's going to stink.
I think Daniels is going to be fine. I don't think he's going to blow the world like the water. I don't think he's going to like blow the smoke out of the water or anything like that. I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback. I don't think he's going to be horrible. I think he's going to be mediocre. I think he's going to be somewhere between that 15th and 20th best quarterback in the league. Maybe not this year, but like in a couple of years. There's going to be a couple times in his career where he's going to be Kirk Cousins. Like I think maybe not as good, but
I think he's going to get smoked. He's
that's
185 pounds soaking wet.
That's the only problem is if he could put on a little bit of weight, a little bit of muscle, I think he could be that, but he's tiny,
and he's behind that offensive line that isn't great.
Yeah.
So like, I mean,
what I mean is I think he has the ability, but I do agree. I think his size is.
Yeah, he's going to get smoked, dude. Even Drew Brees was like a tiny guy, but he was still like 210 behind them. Like, I can't wait till we play them.
And Drew Brees got the ball out quick.
Yeah, I can't wait till we play them. Who's catching for them? Terry McLaurin and...
I mean, McLaurin's still a good player.
Yeah, but who else? Who else do they have? Like, that they felt that strong to be able to get rid of Jahan Dotson.
They have Zach Ertz.
Yeah,
2024 Zach Ertz.
Yeah. He's going to be out there blowing the world, tearing the world.
Let's look at their depth chart. I'm going to pull up their depth chart.
It's bad, dude.
Commanders depth chart. All right. So they have I like Brian Robinson, the running back.
Yeah, and
they have Austin Eckler, who basically came out and said, "I want less of a role."
Yeah, please don't play me.
Oh my God. Terry McLaurin, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
And my guy.
They're really bad.
Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah, they're really bad. and then I think would they have Jamison Crowder still? How many years is he playing for?
Martavis Bryant?
Yeah, exactly. Martavis Bryant. He hasn't been relevant since 2015.
Even if that. Oh, my God.
They're really bad. They're a really bad team. And that's why I'm just so surprised that they have him under a rookie contract. Like, they felt, unless we're missing something, unless Jahan Dotson really stinks, which I don't think he stinks.
Right.
They just, I don't understand. Like,
unless Martavis Bryant is just Calvin Johnson, we just don't know it.
I guess we got to thank who owns them now?
Josh Harris.
Josh Harris for another gift back to the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I can't win it with the Sixers. Maybe I'll
Right.
let the Eagles win a Super Bowl.
So
Covey's going to be your 4,
yeah,
and he played really good. He had a really, really good.
I think in Kellen Moore's offense, they're gonna try to get him into space. I think he's gonna play a little bit of offense.
Yeah, I think he's.
We saw it at
definitely
the end of
playing-
the year last year, but
Yeah, he's definitely playing offense. And in the game 1 and game 2, he had a lot of catches.
right.
They felt so strongly enough that they kept him out of the game 3. He didn't play game 3, so
Right.
he's going to make the team. And I think number 5 is going to be that Johnny Wilson from Florida.
Yeah,
Florida
big
State.
body.
Yeah, 6'5". He used to be tight end, but he's got really good hands. And they said he's almost unstoppable in the red zone. Like the whole off season, when they got down to the red zone, they were like throwing Julio passes.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably gonna play that Julio role from last year.
Which is fine. Like, don't let AJ Brown have to play that quick slant routes, like those stupid hits that he doesn't need to take in the end zone. Like, let this rookie play it.
Yeah, I agree.
Tight end looks like they're going to go with 2.
Yep.
Goddard and Calcaterra. And hopefully they're going to probably hope that they can get Albert O back on the practice squad.
Right.
Or EJ Jenkins. I don't know if you've seen anything from him. He had a really good game too.
That's the first time I've ever heard this guy's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pushing for a roster spot. He's 6'6".
Okay.
Big guy. He wore number 47.
Okay.
I know how you are with the numbers.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
No, I knew you weren't going to
It's
like
a bad
that
one.
Offensive line looks like Mekhi Becton is going to be your right
As
guard.
long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, and it's actually not a bad move because if either one of the tackles do go down, which I pray they don't go down, he can slide out the tackle.
Who's the kid that played like all 3 positions on the offensive line?
The kid we got from Michigan, right?
I'm not sure.
I think we drafted him from Michigan.
Is that the kid from Michigan?
Yeah, I think he's going to be. He plays what, center and both guards, right?
Yeah, he played a little bit of. What did he play? Tackle against the Patriots or the Vikings? One of them. But he all 3 games he played a different position, I think. So having the versatility is really, really great.
Yeah, and they are, just so we were clear on this, they're very thin at offensive tackle.
Yeah.
So like if either one of those guys go down, we're in for it a little bit.
I imagine if one of those guys go down, you move Becton to that spot,
and then you backfill Becton with Steve.
One of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because Suo Peta's not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Jack Driscoll's not on the team anymore. Like all of these guys that did pretty well.
And we're versatile and could play guard and tackle.
Yeah, so I think offensive line is going to be scary if one of them go down, but I think like the left side is better than the right side.
Yeah.
I think that it always scares me though to have like a guard and tackle on one side that are so big, and then your guard and center aren't huge. Like it it's like up and down the line. But hey, if Becton can play a better guard than he played tackle, we're in for a good spot.
And he probably has a better chance of staying healthy at guard than he does at tackle.
Yeah. And then
what about the dude Hennessy? Has he done anything?
He's gonna make the team as a backup. He can play guard. Like he's gonna play that inside role.
My guess is if Jurgens goes down, he's the guy that
they'll slide. If Jurgen goes down, they'll slide Dickerson over to center, and they'll move Hennessy to left guard.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, we did draft Dickerson to back up Kelsey at first, so.
Yeah, I really thought they brought in Hennessy to really battle for one of those positions on the inside.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't going to start.
No. But I think they brought him in to say before Becton because they signed him before Becton. I think they really brought him in and said, you know what, he's been pretty good when healthy. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy in his career. If we bring him in to kind of boost Steen up a little bit to create that battle, competitiveness, and then they brought him in and were like, okay, maybe he's not as good as we thought. Maybe we had to try Becton, and they brought Becton in and said, oh wait, this guy can play guard. The thing that I've heard about Becton too is like he's very good. The Jets loved back then. It's just he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, and he doesn't have like overly. I hate to talk about this stuff because it's so stupid. Because like we're average Joes, but his arms are small to play tackle. Like he didn't have the greatest reach to play tackle, and they wanted him to play tackle down there. Like that's
maybe he overcompensated a little bit, and that's what led to injuries and all that fun stuff.
And then Jalen Hurts had an amazing, camp from what we heard.
Does it concern you? Because I don't know how I feel. Does it concern you like the no interceptions? Like, is it too easy of a training camp, or was
they went really, dude? They went really hard this year.
No, not even so much in the sense of like being easy or hard. I phrased that wrong. More so like when you see a quarterback in training camp, right? And let's say he's throwing a lot of picks. Like last year, Dak Prescott was like the laughing stock because he kept throwing picks in training camp. But like the truth is like training camp is for
mistakes,
right? It's that time to throw those mistakes and what can I do? What can't I do? Kind of things. Does that worry you? Does that come to your mind when you think of how good Jalen Hurts was this training camp?
No, because he did it against the Patriots too. So it wasn't just.
What do you mean?
Like he had a really good those joint practices. Okay. He did pretty good against the Patriots too. So I wasn't worried about it. And actually, they said that the one interception that he did throw to Slay, he would have been sacked in a game. Like, it was like way after. So like, you know what does worry me about Jalen Hurts? I heard somebody say today, he talks in Instagram quotes.
Oh,
somebody said today, all he does is talk in Instagram quotes.
I mean, if that's like the worst thing, I'll take it.
I know, it's just like have some sort of personality.
Yeah.
Did you hear when they asked him about the Wink Martindale question? Did you see that?
I saw the way he reacted. Yeah,
where he's like, "Where's this coming from?"
Yeah.
And then he never even like answered the question. He went on talking about like we're having a really good like preseason.
Well, he said something along the lines of like, "Yes, I did it," and like because I just want to get better, and that was really it. Like he wasn't really like he didn't. I wouldn't say he didn't answer the question, but like he didn't specify on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a huge difference because
he's a weird guy.
He's a weird guy, and Nick Sirianni, dude, they need to teach him how to public speak.
Yeah, they probably should put a leash on him.
Dude, he's terrible out there. Like, I was listening, I think this was 2 weeks ago. He came on to talk about, right before the game, and he was talking about accountability, and he read a book, and it was Salchunas and Kincaid. And the next day, Salchunas was like, I think we should have a drinking contest. Every time he says the word accountability, we take a shot. And Kincaid was like, dude, we'll be drunk by 6:05 in the morning. Like, he just has, like, word diarrhea. He can't keep his mouth shut on, like, repeating himself. And, like, God, it must be infuriating.
I don't know how I feel about Sirianni yet. Because I think I said this on the show a couple weeks ago, I think that, listen, his first year, they didn't start off good. He realized I can't call plays, so he gave it to Steichen. And then they make the playoffs, and they lose in the first round against Tampa, Brady and Tampa. The second year, they go to a Super Bowl. They lose. They outplay the Chiefs, and they lose the Super Bowl. The next year gets them to the playoffs, right? But they gets them to the playoffs. Obviously, they lose to the Bucs again. How does that get you fired? But at the same time, you start off 10-1, and then you lose. You go 1-8 or 1-7 or whatever it was. But counting your playoffs 1-7, how do you not fire him? You know what I mean? Like it's so weird how two things can be so true at the same time. Yeah. So like, I don't know how I feel about him because. Listen, there are a lot of coaches in this league, like Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid, who don't plays. I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah, you went. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a couple of those guys, and obviously Nick Sirianni is not Harbaugh, Tomlin, and Andy Reid. Those are probably the three best coaches in the league. So like, I don't want to be the guy to sit here and say like, what does he do? But like at the same time, I think the best thing for him is to be a motivator. But like, what does he do?
What does Zach Taylor do for the Bengals?
But the Bengals, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm such this internal battle because the Bengals win games. Like, they win big games. But Sirianni has too. So it's like,
Yeah, Sirianni definitely has.
But he was a huge reason why they went 1-7 last year.
He was, and so was Jalen Hurts, though.
Absolutely.
I think, honestly, that's the reason why Sirianni didn't get fired. Because if they looked at it at the end of the year and they said, you know what, it was just Nick. But I think that Jalen Hurts made it such. I think both of them together. I'm not trying to pick on Jalen Hurts.
I think it was the whole team
environment.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't blame Nick Sirianni alone and
no, absolutely
him as a scapegoat. Now this year, it's like, okay, now you got, like, this is it. Like, I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Lurie was like, hey, this is it. If you have a
they have the replacement already in house.
Yeah, well,
I think if they come out and the offense looks great, and I mean I don't think there's a world where the offense looks great and he gets fired, because I think if the offense is great, they're going to make the playoffs, and they may, even if they lose, if they win one game and then lose a game, I don't know that there's a world that the offense looks great and he gets fired, but like I think Belichick is. I don't think Belichick's ever going to coach again, personally. No, I think he's looking at the idea of, I have a 25-year-old girlfriend who, I'm sitting here in August with my feet up. I'm enjoying this. But I think that they have the guy in-house that if something goes wrong, a lot of people are going to point to Nick because of what happened last year, and the quarterback is unhappy with Nick. Let me ask you this question, though. Let's go back to last year. Let's say it's last year. Let's say it's the day after the Bucs beat the Eagles in the playoffs. If I had to ask you, who would you rather have, the quarterback or the coach, knowing how it was probably equally both of their faults, right? Like, yeah. it was just as much Jalen as it was Nick, and it was just as much Nick as Jalen. Who would you rather have?
You have to keep Hurts only because of the contract.
Well, like, let's say you could trade Hurts, though. Like, let's say trading a contract would be easy.
It's hard to say, because
I think I would say Hurts, personally.
I just have an issue with how Hurts acted last year, just because, like, I don't know, like, who are you to come out there and, like, say you can't deal with a coach, or you need a mediator with a coach? Like, this dude gave you the reason you're making all this money is because he gave you your opportunity.
Well, I don't know that. Did he give her the opportunity, though, or did the Eagles give him the opportunity because they couldn't get Russell Wilson? They had nothing else that offseason to say, all right, well, I guess Jalen's going to be – we're going to really see what he is this year. This was going into 2021? Yep. He was going into 2021 and saying, all right, we're going to see what Jalen is, and if we're bad, well, at least we can go get a quarterback in the draft. If we're good, then we're good. Like, or no, it was going into 22, wasn't it? Because it was after 21.
Yes. Yeah. So,
like, I don't think Nick gave him the opportunity. It was just that he's just the only guy we have, so we have to throw him out there and see what he is. Like, so yeah, I think I go with the quarterback. I think because I think Jalen felt very not that he was backstabbed, but like almost like betrayed. You know what I mean? In a certain way. And yeah, I don't know. I think that this if this team succeeds this year, I don't know how much of it really is going to be Nick. And like, again, there are so many coaches in this league, like Mike Tomlin, like Bill Belichick when he was coaching, like Andy Reid, who don't call plays, but they're inserting their offense, and they're inserting Jim Harbaugh, inserting their Tomlin, inserting these things in their offense and defenses, and they're succeeding. Where I don't know how much Nick does of that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Is it to you NFC Championship game or fire?
I'm always on the eye test. I'm always like, well, how does it happen? I think if they get to the NFC Championship game, or let's say it's the round before the NFC Championship game, and it's a really good game against the Niners or the Cowboys, whatever it is. I think if it's a really good game and they lose on a field goal, I think you have a different conversation. If they get blown out by the Bucs again, how did it happen?
Dude, the Cowboys are a dumpster fire.
I'm just naming teams. You know?
I know. I'm just saying they're a literal trash fire right now.
Yeah. I mean, they signed their receiver today. The two guys that want money are their two best players. They just refuse to give them money. It's crazy.
Dude, they said that they are so far on both of their contracts. They're not even close on them. Dude, Michael.
Well, they signed Lamb today.
Oh, I was talking Parsons and Dak.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not even talking Dak. I meant before the contract today. They would not give Lamb money, and they just won't give Parsons money. They're two best players.
Dude, Parsons wants to play with the Eagles, dude. He wants to play with Saquon and Jahan Dotson.
Maybe he could come in. He could coach too, Micah. Micah
could do whatever he could do whatever he wants, as long as he's sacking the quarterback.
I think they're going to be the biggest. Obviously, they're still going to be the biggest competition to them in the NFC East.
I don't think so.
Who do you think is going to be the biggest competition to the Eagles in the NFC East?
No one. I don't think they have any competition in the East.
I mean, I still think the Cowboys win 10 games.
I don't.
I think they win 10 games.
Dude, if you're Dak Prescott right now, right, and you just see the contract that CeeDee Lamb signed, there's no money for you. They're basically like with the contract.
Yeah, he can still be playing for a contract for another team,
right? And
he wants to win.
Dude, I don't think there's any mojo there. Their second receiver's Brandon Cooks. Like
he was last year too, and Lamb caught 2,000 yards almost, or 1,800 yards.
Their leading rusher is Ezekiel Elliott. Like,
no, it's going to be Dottle, but
you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to inside the 20s. It's going to be Zeke, which last year he had a decent year in that role, and then they're going to give it to Dottle. I don't know how good he's going to be. All I'm saying is they're going to be the biggest competition to them. I think they're going to go 10-7, or is that right?
Yeah,
record wise. Yeah. So I think they go 10-7, and the Eagles are probably in that 12-13 win range.
I just don't think. I think that it's not even going to be close. I think the Eagles are going to. Dude, I want to be brazen and say it, but I think, dude, they have a chance to win like 14 games, 15 games.
Hey, I'm not saying that's impossible. I just think that the Cowboys still win 10 games.
You think they beat the Eagles once too?
Because of the history, yes, that's just kind of the way it's gone for years. Even when one team isn't good, division games are different.
Yeah, you're right.
They just tend to split usually. So on that standard, yeah, probably. But
I think they go 6-0 in the NFC East, dude. I think.
Okay. I can see 5-1.
I think that the only teams that I think we can go through it, but the only teams I think they blow the Packers out in Brazil. I'm not scared of the Packers. I'm just not scared of them. Their receivers stink. Like I don't.
Let's save the the win-loss thing, because I know we usually when the schedule first comes out we do it, and then when the season gets here, let's save that for next week, because I did want to talk a little bit about college football. We're kind of running out of time. We can still talk Eagles, but I'm just saying let's save the win-loss, go week by week for next week when Mike is here. And because it's the next show before the first game. Yeah,
absolutely.
But,
we can do the rookie of the year, defensive player of the year next week,
and we'll have we'll have picks, right?
Yep,
we'll do our first week of picks.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll definitely talk more Eagles next week. Unless there was something else you want to talk about this week with them.
I'm just ready, dude.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm pretty excited. I know me and you were going to the watch party.
Yep.
Why don't they do that? Like, why don't teams do that all the time?
Yeah,
I don't understand why, if they're an away game. Like, why?
And it's not like a new concept either. Like, remember the Flyers did it for the series against. They did it for the series against Boston. That was two. That was the second round. That wasn't even the third round.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
money.
They make a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited too. Obviously, fantasy football coming up. We've got real football coming up. We had real football this weekend. Like I said, we're teasing the whole show. College football. We'll definitely want to talk a little bit of college. Florida State stinks.
Dude, I don't even think they
quarterback stinks.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, stinks.
He needs to transfer again.
Yeah, with
He's
his
on
fourth
the
transfer.
program. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's literally playing NCAA football.
yeah,
and just entering the
literally.
transfer portal every year. He stinks, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
like the running
happy,
back.
dude. Yeah, I'm so happy because they're done. Their whole season's done.
Yeah,
Like,
it's over.
it makes me
Yeah.
like so happy to see that because last year,
Specifically because of what happened last year.
yeah,
I agree.
I just love it. I love that. Like, it doesn't matter. They can win every game the rest of the season. They're done
Yeah,
because they lost to Georgia Tech, who's going to be a 3-win team at the end of the year.
I agree completely. I'm out on Florida State. I think they stink. I think the quarterback stinks. I do like the running back and the one receiver they have, but yeah.
New Mexico, University of New Mexico, like I know you don't probably pay attention that deep down the rabbit hole.
No, I
but
don't.
dude, they lost to Montana State.
What, dude?
You're
It was like plus 2,000 at one point for Montana State, I think, to come back in that game.
Yeah,
and they
dude,
wound up
you
coming
lose
back.
to an FCS school as an FBS school.
Yeah,
like you should be kicked out of the division. Like they should have to relegate like they do in soccer. They should have to get kicked out, and Montana State should take their place. Like, that's terrible. There's like some other really bad games that I was looking through. Hawaii goes and plays Delaware State, and they win like 28-14. Like, come on, you're flying them all the way out there because you're like thinking you're gonna like beat them by like 60, and like you can't beat the brakes off of a team like that.
Yeah, I mean it was a 3-score game.
What was it? What was the final score?
35-14.
Dude, that's Delaware State is like Delaware. University of Delaware is an FCS school. Delaware State is like below that.
The biggest school that they play outside of Hawaii is the Richmond Spiders.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, the Richmond Spiders.
The best player to come out of Richmond
Spiders. Oh, they play SC. Never mind. Yeah, they play SC State, South Carolina.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, they don't play SC State.
South Carolina State.
Oh, yes. SC State stinks. You're thinking of NC State.
Oh.
SC State is a is like a whatever that league they're in. Sunbelt. They're not Sunbelt.
No,
I don't even know what
they're
MAC.
called.
They're not MAC, are they?
I don't know. What's MEAC?
Yeah, the MEAC. MAC is Toledo, Akron, like Bowling Green. They would beat the brakes off of Delaware State too.
They play North Carolina Central.
Dude.
Robert Morris.
Dude, they got to go to
St. Francis in
Pennsylvania.
In parentheses, PA.
Yeah.
They're in 5th place in the NEC.
There you go.
St. Francis.
They get to go to Hawaii, and they actually played a pretty good showing against a Division I school.
Dude, it is. I guess Delaware's in CYO. They play Sacred Heart. They play St. Francis. Yeah, this is crazy.
That's what I said, dude. They should feel pretty good about themselves.
Yeah.
To only lose by 3 touchdowns to a Division I school.
Yeah, so the first week is usually not like it's exciting because college football's back, but like it's usually not like the most exciting week ever.
There's some good games this week. Let me see.
Temple plays Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a real barn burner there too. What do we got?
Clemson and Georgia. You've got
Penn State and West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia. Miami and Florida, probably. Even though Florida,
Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
That's a really good game. That's a rivalry game, right?
Yep. USC and LSU. Boston College and Florida State. That's always a tough game there. Trying to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like week 6. You know what I mean? Like, it's when division or when conference games begin, when it's like really exciting. There are some really good games. Week 2, it's Notre Dame and or not Notre Dame, Texas and Michigan. Week 2.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, Michigan's going to stink this year.
Their quarterback's going to stink. I think the running back's going to be really good. I think it's just going to be the quarterback play. I think they still make the playoff, but I think they're not as good. I think they're the bottom half. Who are the 12 teams you think that get in this year?
Penn State.
I agree. I think Penn State does get in.
Let me just pull up them real quick.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you my 12, not in order. I think Georgia's gonna win the whole thing.
Yeah, I do too.
I think Georgia, Ohio State. I hate Oregon, but I think they get in. I think Texas gets in.
Remember what now? So you said Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State. There are three teams from the Big Ten in already.
Right.
Okay.
Why is there a limit?
There's not a limit, but usually the best two teams will probably.
But you can have 4 top Big Ten schools in the top 12.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially because like Penn State doesn't play Oregon this year.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Or they play Washington. I think they play Oregon this year.
No, they don't play Penn State. I'm looking at the schedule. They play Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State, UCLA, Michigan State, Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington.
Okay, then it's USC and Washington play Penn State this year.
Penn State, correct. Yep. And UCLA. So I think you've got Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas that get in. I think Alabama gets in. I think Ole Miss gets in. I think Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Missouri and Utah are your 12.
Okay. Let me pull up real quick.
I think Clemson could kind of be in that mix. And I think Kansas could also be in that mix. I think Kansas can make a push.
All right. I think Michigan is going to make it as one of the lower schools.
I agree.
Washington, I think, has a chance. Hold up.
Is Washington? I don't think Washington's even ranked, are they?
No, but they have a chance just because they made it to the game last year. I think
they lost the receiver and quarterback though.
They lost everybody, but and their head coach. Right. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong things.
The 3 reasons why they got there, they lost.
Texas.
Yep.
Michigan. Penn State. Ohio State. Oregon. I do think Oregon does make it.
I agree. I just hate them.
Texas A&M. I think that they're always a school.
They're on the cusp for me.
Georgia. What am I at? 5, 6. Alabama's going to make it.
That's 8.
Notre Dame's going to make it.
Yep.
Just because I think that they're one of them teams that make it. Utah.
Yep, I agree.
SMU.
Okay.
Kansas State.
I think you're at 11 or 12. Are you at 11 or 12?
I think 11. And dude, the last one, the 12th ranked team, I saw Nick Saban's, and I think like it could be that like a school like Liberty could make like your top 12. So I'll go with Liberty.
You think?
Dude, if they go undefeated and they win their championship, like why don't they deserve a chance to like get a bid?
Because I think it really depends on who you play. Like I think that's why last year that's why Florida State didn't get in and Alabama did, because Alabama beats Georgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so okay, so would you? So let's say they go undefeated, and then your 13th ranked team is Florida State. Do you put Florida State in with losing to Georgia? Georgia Tech, right?
Well, I think it really depends on how they play the rest of the year, too.
So Liberty wins out, right? Who's their competition?
Yeah. What does Florida State do, though?
They lose another game. They're going to have to lose another game because they're going to have to play Clemson or one of those teams. Liberty.
Who does Liberty play?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Are they really the Liberty Flames?
I think so.
Terrible name. So they play Campbell, New Mexico State, UTEP, East Carolina, Appalachian, FIU,
Appalachian State's a good team, dude.
FIU, Kennesaw, Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee, Massachusetts, Western Kentucky, and Sam Houston State. No.
No,
No.
dude, come on.
Wait, would you really want to see Liberty play like Georgia in the first round? I mean, I think Georgia smokes Florida State anyway, but like, or whoever that 12th team probably is. But like, no, I don't want to see.
Dude,
I don't
they
wanna see
get
Liberty play.
they get a bye. Don't the first 4 teams
or
get
whoever
a bye?
whoever it is, whoever they play the first round.
The only way you're going to get these schools more like involved with the NIL moves and all that is to let a school like Liberty in.
Well, then they should just do conference winners.
I would love that, but you can't put Harvard in there
Well, why can you put Liberty?
because if they go undefeated, right? They win every single game and they're winning them by 3-4 touchdowns every game. Why don't they deserve a chance?
Because they're nowhere near the programs of Florida State, who the teams that Florida State would be in that scenario.
All right. In this scenario, Liberty beats Georgia Tech by 4 touchdowns. Are they in?
No, because I think Georgia Tech stinks too.
But they beat Florida State.
Right, but we're
this
assuming
whole
that Florida
scenario
State
that I'm
also
saying.
wins. But we're also assuming that Florida State is beating Clemson and
They're not.
Boston College, and
They're not.
but in this scenario, you said 2 losses.
Yeah, 2. They get 2 losses. They go
Right, one of them was to Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Let's look at the schedule. Georgia Tech,
They-
Boston College, Memphis, Cal, SMU, Clemson, Duke, Miami, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Charleston, Southern, and Florida. They're not. Here's the thing: Florida State's a bad example because they're not gonna beat Notre Dame. They're not gonna beat. Probably not gonna beat Clemson. They're not gonna beat SMU probably. Like I think Florida State really does stink.
They do stink.
But like no, I don't think Liberty should get in over like I don't know who's gonna be that 12th school. Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, or
Dude, if Michigan has 2 losses, they need to be out. If that should be, there should be a thing that says if you have 2 losses, you're done.
yeah, but how many teams only have 1 or less losses in the top 12?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you have 2 losses, you should be kicked out. You shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't.
That
I
you
just don't want to
shouldn't
see.
be allowed to do
I just would rather see a Michigan team with 2 losses play in the playoff than an undefeated Liberty. That's just me.
Let me see. What did Nick say?
I just think it's a better game.
Nick Saban, because I think that's why I took it from there. But Nick Saban, CFP.
Like there might be teams this year who are. It's going to be a similar thing to what happened last year with Florida State and Alabama and Georgia, where it was one spot for 2 or 3 teams. It's going to be the same thing at the 11-12, where there's going to be a team that has 2 losses and a team that has 1 loss. That because let's say Michigan has 2 losses, and Kansas State has 1 loss, they're probably going to give it to Michigan because Michigan plays Ohio State and Penn State and Washington and Oregon and they don't play Penn State this year, but
So Nick Saban's 12. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Florida State 3. Obviously, that's out already.
Correct.
He's already done.
they
Utah,
might lose 4 games this year, 4 or 5 games.
Utah 4, Texas 5, Oregon 6, Alabama 7, Ole Miss 8, Penn State 9, Notre Dame 10, LSU 11, Liberty 12.
Did he have Bama in there? Did you say
Yeah.
Bama?
Bama 7. He has Michigan out.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you from my perspective, I would rather see a team with 2 losses like a Michigan or a Clemson or
Liberty?
a Kansas than Liberty. Yeah. I just think they play better competition and they're better players and it's a better product to watch.
I just think with the way that it's gone with NIL money and given like that would be a chance to put like a school like Liberty to be able to get some of these guys and make it more competitive.
How much of it is going to be that versus just a bowl game? Like if they get a bowl game, they're probably going to get the same amount opportunity in that sphere if they're
Dude,
just
nobody's-
losing the playoff game.
Nobody's watching the Spam Bowl, them playing like
Well, if they're
Charleston
undefeated.
Southern. Nobody's watching them play Charleston Southern.
Yeah, but if you give Liberty a bowl game against, let's say they go undefeated, and you give them a bowl game against Tennessee, who has one loss. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's very possible.
I think you're going to see a team like Liberty in it, Memphis, SMU. Like you're going to see one of those.
I could
teams.
see SMU kind of making a run at it.
I think you're going to see one of these teams like in there and making it a good playoff run. Dude,
I don't know. I could one of them get in? Yes. I don't know that they make a playoff run though.
Dude, we just watched Georgia beat Florida State. Georgia Tech. We just watched them beat Florida State.
Yeah, because Florida State stinks.
Right. And all it takes is one game to be off.
Yeah, but
All it takes.
Liberty is not going to play against Florida State, the overrated Florida State team. They're going to play Texas or Alabama or Ole Miss, these teams that are, going to have 4 first-round picks.
I just think it's good for the sport.
I don't disagree. No, I don't disagree with you. I'm just, it's good for them. It's good for, but I just don't know how you can say you want Liberty in, but you're also you don't like how Florida State, dealt with that last year. You know what I mean?
Dude, I loved Florida State losing it last year. I hate Florida State.
That's what I mean. But that's what I'm saying. I think Florida State shouldn't have gotten in last year because of this same reason. Because I think Georgia and Alabama and Texas and Washington bring in so much more than Florida State does, and they play better competition. I think maybe not Washington, but Washington was a better team. But I think Georgia and Alabama, or not Georgia, but Alabama and Texas play better competition than Florida State does. And just because Florida State went 13-0 or whatever it was, and Texas had 1 or 2 losses, and Alabama had 1 or 2 losses, even though they beat Georgia, nobody talks about that.
Yeah,
they beat Georgia last year.
Yep.
So I think that matters. I think that's what and I feel that same way in this situation. I just think if Liberty goes undefeated in a very very inferior conference, it's a lot different than it's not the same as a team losing two games to a top 5 power school.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting how they vote for it.
Yeah,
because I do think what you said earlier is the way they really should do it. If you win your conference championship, you should get in. You should, but dude, does the Pac-12 even exist this year?
There's 2 teams. It's Washington State and
Oregon State.
Oregon State, yeah.
So are they just going to play each other in the Pac-12 championship?
I assume so, unless they just don't have one.
What's the point of having a season? They're both know that they're not going to be a top 25 team.
Yeah. I don't know. There are 2 schools that I'm circling that I think could make a run. One of them is Notre Dame.
One's Liberty.
Yeah. One is Notre Dame and the other's Ole Miss. I think those 2 are teams that are going to not surprise people, but I like the quarterback from Notre Dame and Ole Miss. I like the 2 quarterbacks. I think Ole Miss has really good receivers. I think Notre Dame has a really good run game and a good tight end.
Yeah.
So.
And they always play good defense.
Yeah.
So I'm going Penn State. The whole thing this year.
Okay.
No,
it's possible.
Obviously.
No, it's possible.
No,
well, that's the thing. This. No, I know, but it's this thing was. It benefits Penn State the most, honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The playoffs. It's just about getting in.
Yeah.
For not for Liberty, but for you know
what I was
schools that are
thinking,
actually playing competitive games.
Those bowl games are going to be terrible. Now, because if you're not one of the top 12, those players that are the top tier, they're not going to play in the game at all now. At all.
Yeah. But I don't know. We shall see. It should be an interesting weekend.
Yeah.
Of college football. An interesting year. And we'll definitely talk more about it during the year.
Got any locks this weekend?
For this weekend? I have to look again.
Just give me one. I'll give you one.
Are you talking like
With the spread.
money line or the spread?
Yeah, spread.
Hmm. I was not prepared for this. Oklahoma minus 42.5.
Ooh.
TCU minus 9.5. I like that one.
Okay.
I hate TCU, but Stanford's really bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Notre Dame at +3
Okay.
because
Are they dogs?
They are dogs. Texas A&M's home though.
Okay.
So 3 is kind of like even, right? I think that's what they say, 2.5,
Yeah.
3. So really, I think Notre Dame's a lock.
I agree. I like that.
Shoot them in.
Yeah, right. Texas minus 32. They play Colorado State though. Like that's not like
Colorado State's not a bad team. No,
right. That's not like Appalachian State, who, like you said, isn't a bad team, but like it's not like the week one.
Yeah.
Gimme, you know.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, is there anything else you had before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our show this week. And next week, like I said, we'll talk about the Eagles next week. Talk about wins, losses. We'll do our props. We'll do all of our betting stuff that we usually do. We'll start that next week. Hopefully, all three of us can jump on.
Dom, I also officially knocked you out of the playoffs, right?
Not yet for fantasy baseball. Not yet. I could still get in if I win and the 8 seed, because I think you're the 7 seed. The 8 seed, if he loses and I get more points than him. It's very tough, but yeah, you pretty much, because I fucked up. I started too many guys this week, and because I initially beat you, and then realized we started three too many guys, and
it went back and deleted them.
Yeah,
because you're a cheater.
Apparently, I'm a cheater. I didn't set the lineup this week, so I can't complain. But I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus,
Dude, I love that. I love that we made all these trades because you were trying to push to get in, and now I have all your picks.
Yeah,
and I'm in.
It is what it is. I might be riding solo next year, so the duo might be broken. So
it might be a single.
Hall and Oates broke up.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys and Sync, One Direction.
They all broke up, and the other and one of them just had a great solo career in each of them. So maybe that's me. So all right, we're gonna get out of here, and we will see you guys next week.